The chief of police in a Chicago suburb has revealed that the officer who shot dead a black security guard outside a bar over the weekend was white, prompting a local elected official to call for Cook County prosecutors to investigate the fatal incident. It also emerged on Tuesday that the victim, 26-year-old Gemma Robertson, was apparently wearing a hat emblazoned with the word security across the front when he was gunned down by an officer from the Midlothian Police Department outside Manny's Blue Room in Robbins, a predominantly black community just south of Chicago. At the time, according to witnesses and a lawsuit, Robertson was attempting to detain a suspect in a separate shooting that wounded several other people at the tavern. Here is a security guard who is subduing a suspect, but the officer just sees a black man with a gun and kills him, Alderman Keith Price said. Robertson was taken to a hospital, where he was pronounced dead from multiple gunshot wounds. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office ruled his death a homicide. Price said he learned from witnesses that there are security cameras inside and outside the bar. He urged the Cook County State's Attorney's Office to launch an investigation. The Illinois State Police declined to comment on their investigation. The spokeswoman for the Sheriff's Department, which is also investigating, said she did not know if there were security cameras at the bar. Another security guard at the bar said that the white officer jumped onto the bar and waved an assault rifle before running outside and fatally shooting the guard, an attorney said Tuesday. Gregory E. Coulis, who on Monday filed a civil rights lawsuit against the officer and the community where he works, said the surviving guard told him that the officer pointed a gun at him until he screamed at him that he was a security guard. That's when he jumped off the bar, waving the gun, and ran outside the door, said Coulis, who declined to identify the other security guard. The name of the officer, who is from the community of Midlothian, has not been released either. Share this article. Share. What is known about the cop so far is that he has served on the force for 7 years and is a member of a SWAT team. He has been placed on administrative leave, reported the Chicago Tribune. Midlothian Police Chief Daniel Delaney initially said only that the officer shot a subject with a gun. On Tuesday, he released a second statement, describing Robertson as a brave man who is doing his best to end an active shooter situation at Manny's Blue Room. The statement from the chief continued, "The Midlothian Police Department is completely saddened by this tragic incident, and we give our heartfelt condolences to Gemma, his family and his friends. There are no words that can be expressed as to the sorrow his family is dealing with." Coulis, the lawyer representing Robertson's family in their excessive force lawsuit against the officer and the village where he works, would not say if he thinks race played a role in the shooting, but the fact that the Midlothian officer is white and Robertson was black has prompted some, including a prominent local African-American newspaper columnist, to question the officer's thinking. "I believe a police officer showing up at a chaotic scene where a white man has a gun would have at least hollered for him to put the gun down before opening fire," Chicago Sun-Times columnist Mary Mitchell wrote after the shooting. But too often, black men are not given the benefit of the doubt. Coulis said he is trying to gather information about the white officer. Footage from surveillance or body cameras could explain whether Robertson was clearly identifiable as a security guard. Audio could determine what, if anything, was said to the officer before the shooting and whether, as witnesses have told the media, they shouted to the officer before he fired that Robertson was a security guard. Such footage could also help investigators determine What kind of charges should be filed against the man who is suspected of firing a gun inside the bar? The man was one of 4 people who suffered non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. In his federal lawsuit, Coulis contends that the officer who shot Robertson violated the man's Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches and seizures. The use of force is considered a seizure, and he needed probable cause to use force, and he did not have that, he said. Courtesy of WGN9, Robertson's friends and family have since paid tribute to him as a devout Christian and a talented musician. The 26-year-old, who had a young son named Tristan, played the organ at local churches and was about to start training to become a cop himself, they said. A GoFundMe campaign that was launched to help Jemal's mother with her son's final expenses has drawn more than $80,000 in donations as of Tuesday evening. The organizer of the campaign wrote of Robertson that he was a young man who was greatly loved by all who knew him.